one drive and Josh should get knocked out like that, but that's the way the game goes. You never know what can happen, and I felt like we responded, nice early, and it was good to have that drive and get a score out of that for sure. It was a great route by Travis, and a good job to keep on running.
Johnny, why do you think it unraveled the way it did?
I think Coach Pat nailed it a little bit there. I mean, first and foremost, can't turn the ball over, so that one throw on the pick, it's got to be outside. It's got to be our ball or nobody. So that kind of slowed our momentum a little bit. Little things like you said, a couple third downs there where we get them conversions and have a penalty or something like that. Just little things that kind of hindered us and nagged us throughout the day that I think finally in the second half caught up to us a little bit.
Johnny, was there a lot of adrenaline coming in like that all unexpectedly?
Absolutely.
Johnny, how did you feel after resting the elbow for a long period of time, just in terms of how your elbow felt and how rusty might you have been or anything like that?
Yeah, it's obviously, I hadn't got a lot of practice reps, been sitting a little bit, but, that's the nature of the game. I was a 2 today and, exactly where I wanted to be and got a chance to get in the game and did some good things, but just not enough to really get the job done. So, the elbow, majority of the time felt pretty good today.
What was the feeling just of you getting in the game? How did you feel, getting the chance?
There was obviously a lot of energy in the crowd. It's the first game of an NFL season, so, it was really hyped in the stadium, and I think we built off that a little bit, and then quieted the crowd a little bit. But it was, it definitely took me a little while to settle down.
You really jumped up on the hit on you. Did you feel it, or
I think it was kind of one of those ones where you just catches you kind of clean, be able to pop back up. So I wasn't one that caught me bad, that's for sure.
Is that in the back of your mind after you watch Josh have to leave the game, that you're the only quarterback active and you need to be careful when you're running?
Yeah, it was echoed. It was echoed down the line. So definitely on that one I could have got down a second sooner, but that's a chance where we're 2 scores down, trying to bring it back and just trying to make something happen. So like Coach Pat said a minute ago, it's hard to be competitive and try and squeeze every bit out of it and then give up 5 yards just trying to get down. But in that situation, obviously the smart thing is just to take the yards and move the ball and get out.
Touchdown first half, 3 turnovers second. How do you assess the whole day?
Obviously the second half leaves a little bit of a bitter taste in your mouth, but we'll see what happens throughout this next week, see what Josh's status is, and for me, obviously going into this week right now, as far as I know, just be ready to go, get in with those guys, and get a chance to mesh with them a little bit, because I obviously haven't been with the ones a lot since training camp or since this week or anything like that. So obviously a little bit disappointed in the second half, but there were still some good things despite the turnovers.
What did you gain from being for you getting the opportunity to play almost a full game?
Yeah, just jumping in, getting another chance to get out there against the defense that has a lot of talent on that side of the ball. So, like I said, I felt like we did some good things, but in the end, too many mistakes, turnovers, that really just killed us.
You say you have to do differently in terms of ball security?
Yeah, can't turn it over.
The touchdown pass to Benjamin, was that an audible you called at the line?
No, I think it was just a go ball, a little inside or outside leverage by the corner, and he just ran right by him. So I think that's just Trav using his speed, trusting that seeing single safety, we're going to get the ball up to him, and he made a heck of a job catching that and taking it to the house.
When you said your elbow felt good the majority of the time, does that mean it's still biting you?
A few times there were just a couple bites here and there, just a little bit of tightness. But other than that, for the majority to go all the way through the game, it really didn't bother me that much.
Is that how it was at A&M?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. So it's pretty normal.
If you find out that you're going to start some games going forward, how ready do you feel for that opportunity?
Good. Having a week of practice, getting in with those guys, being able to go over all our protections, going over everything, and really have a solid week of practice. I feel pretty good about it.
What was your week of practice like last week? Did you get much work at all?
No.
None?
This past week before the game, very little. Some scout team reps and pretty much just watching film, trying to shadow Josh as much and get the game plan ready and make sure, something like today happened, we'll be ready.
Was that because of your elbow, or is that typical prepreparation?
The backup's not going to get a lot of reps.
Since August 23rd, you really haven't had hardly any reps at all. Do you really feel like if the game plan was centered around you, you got all the first 2 reps, things might look a little different?
Yeah, it's kind of a little bit of what if, but I think for the most part, we had a good game plan. We just needed to come out and execute it. So that's what it comes down to: is eliminating the little things, not turning the ball over, ball security, and just making sure we do what we need to do. I don't think when it came down to it, we did enough today, and I think that showed.
So what did you see in yourself? What did you see out of the offense you feel like kind of build off of going forward?
Yeah, I think obviously the thing that I like to see was those guys not giving up, still trying to drive down the field even with 4 or 5 minutes left in the game right there. So that's the one thing about those group of guys on the offensive side of the ball. They continue to fight, whether it's our receivers continuing to block, continuing to run, run great routes, and the guys up front continuing to fight. That's encouraging for me to see. And at the same time, I felt like there was a few balls there that, if I just cut loose and trust what I'm seeing, probably get a couple more completions. But, all around, I think it was a good building block, and, we'll see what goes on with this week.
Have you had a chance to talk to Josh since he got the concussion? How's he doing?
Yeah, I saw him at halftime, but, not a lot of really report back. So, I guess we'll see in the next coming days.
Johnny, does it?
Two more real rapid. Do you hear anything from the Jets guy? They sacked you and he went, they took him off on the stretch. Did you see anything that happened?
No, I didn't see anything, him going down. I know we just got off the field. After turning the ball over, and I saw somebody laying on the ground, so I didn't get a chance to see what was going on.
Does it concern you that you and Josh are the leading rushers and the backs couldn't really get much going?
I think, as we continue to pound out the zone running game, I think we'll have days where we're going to come out and run the ball really well. That's a big front that the Jets have, and it was just tough for us to kind of pound it in there today. But, for the most part, I have a lot of faith in our running backs and in our offensive line that those guys will be the leading rushers for sure.
All right, thanks.